Windows 11, by and large, has benefits over Windows 10, but a lot of the under the hood ones
Okay.
seem to be
Yeah.
focused on newer hardware, right? Like optimizing for big little architecture CPUs, for example. Obviously, if
Touch-based
you are going to
systems.
benefit, yeah, touch devices. Obviously, if you're going to benefit from some of those newer under the hood improvements, you're going to meet the requirements for TPM 2.0 and everything's going to be hunky dory. And then if you have older hardware, I think what Microsoft is effectively saying is no problem. Run Windows 10 then. So that gives you,
Yeah.
I think the end of support date is 2025 for Windows 10, which actually does buy you another 4 years to upgrade. So in another 4 years, will a Skylake system be starting to get a little long in the tooth? I think that's probably fair to say.
I mean,
But,
I think it sort of already is, but yeah.
well, sort of. I mean, you could definitely play very AAA games on Skylake
Yeah. Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
100%. I mean, even going back to Haswell, Ivy Bridge, you could still be playing very high end games as long as you've got a GPU that is good enough. And you do a little bit of overclocking, and all of a sudden you're laughing. But there are other issues with running older hardware. They have more vulnerabilities that are never going to be patched, and I think that expecting people to upgrade about every 10 years or so is not entirely unreasonable, especially if you consider that, like today, because there was that long period of stagnation where we just didn't see the same kind of performance improvements that we used to. Today we kind of take for granted that a 10-year old computer, it should be fine, right? But can you
Yeah.
imagine in 2005 thinking that it's okay to run a computer that was built in 1995?
Yeah. Not even remotely.
Get real. Like 2005 was I think the Athlon 64 was out. Let me have a look here.
There's one of the wacky
Yes.
things too is like we're talking about Skylake, and I think that's a very legitimate conversation. But to bring it back even further, like I know
Yeah.
people playing modern games on Sandy Bridge processors.
Yeah.
Um, like it's
100%.
yeah,
100%.
I don't know.
But like,
It's and it ties into that stagnation thing you're talking about,
yeah.
etc. But like there's people running these old computers and they're just still not having any problems. And like no matter what the hardware community is like, oh yeah, these new CPUs are amazing.
Yeah.
Well, the vast majority of people aren't going to use that performance.
Yep.
Maybe you will, and that's fantastic and
Yep.
it's really exciting and that's cool. But I
So
can totally understand why someone who just uses a web browser isn't going to care about upgrading their computer.
So I think what's happening here is we are getting the warning shot. My Windows 10 is going to keep getting support till 2025, which means that you'll realistically be able to keep using it for a little while after that if you want to. It won't be
Yeah.
until after 2025 that the install base will really start to dwindle, and you'll start to see game developers not supporting the OS, or you'll start to see companies like Nvidia or AMD pull driver support. So realistically, you could still be running your machine from 2015 until 2025, 2026, 2027 if you want to push it and you're willing to roll that die in terms of security updates. And in the context of going from Windows 95, right? You would have been running a Pentium 2 if you were state of the art. Okay,
Yeah.
you were running
Yeah.
266 megahertz back in 1995. In May of 2005, you were running an Athlon 64X2 if you were state of the art, okay? So, yes, the hardware hasn't moved forward in that way over the
Yeah.
last
No.
10 years.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that computing hasn't changed that much in 10 years and that we don't need to do something about standardizing the platform that people are running on in some meaningful way. And Microsoft's justification for this ultimately does kind of make sense to me, even if I'm not thrilled about it. In a nutshell, they say, look, this comes down to security. Microsoft claims that PCs using a TPM and Secure Boot reported 60% less malware thanks to virtualization-based security. And if Microsoft wants to
A lot
stay
of attacks are
competitive,
in that vector these days.
exactly. If Microsoft wants to stay competitive with Apple and Google, so Google doesn't even have 10-year-old hardware to deal with on Chrome OS. And then Apple just gets to deprecate things whenever it pleases them because they're so vertically integrated and their customers will just accept it. Um, if Microsoft wants to do something to move Windows security forward, like as a platform, as something that they can really message about, I actually think that this could be a big part of the reason that Windows 11 exists at all. So
Yeah.
I don't see them backing down from this. And it's Windows. There's going to be hacky ways to do it probably. But
Yes.
I don't think that Microsoft is going to endorse them in any way. And the industry is going to be expected to adapt because we have, 4 to 6 years to kind of figure it out. And at some point, Windows has to get more secure. And if this is a way they've identified to do it, then Windows 11 is this clear line in the sand that Microsoft is drawing that goes, okay, Windows 10, you know what, it wasn't as good. And this is why. And you can keep using it for a while. But guys, you will have to upgrade, even if you don't have to do it today.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. Most of the improvements, like you were mentioning, are kind of quality of life stuff.
Yep,
So,
absolutely. You don't have to move on from Windows 10. Actually, okay,
Yep.
one thing we don't know is whether this is a really critical feature that I'm excited for, direct storage. So the GPU's ability to access your storage directly. But then now that I think about it, actually, no one's going to be running PCI Express
Nope.
Gen 4 and
Nope.
not have TPM 2.0.
Yep.
So the whole thing, it's all, wait, where's that Kronk? I need that Kronk GIF. It's all coming together. It all makes sense now. If the benefits of Windows 11 are performance benefits, but that are applicable mainly to very modern systems, then it makes perfect sense to just kind of say, okay, well then modern systems are going to run Windows 11 and not modern systems are going to run Windows 10. And no one should really be that upset about it because you can just run Windows 10 and you'll have a just fine experience like you have. There are some other problems. Toad says, yeah, TPM is a repair nightmare. That is super true. Having like encryption keys tied to the CPU in the motherboard socket is going to be a real nightmare for people who don't practice good data storage best practices. Because if you just run your machine, you store all of your data right on your boot drive and you have some kind of problem, you take it into a shop, they have to swap out some hardware, you could be in for an extremely bad time. There could just be no way to access your data unless you stored your backup key somewhere that you can actually get at it. Could be bad. You have a water cooling leak, right? So you lose a CPU and motherboard at the same time. Could be very problematic. I mean, I've been advocating for a long time for people to just not store any data on their computers. But the reality of it is I remember back when I didn't have the kind of money to just have an extra computer to keep all my hard drives in. That was just not possible, even though you can build a decent NAS for a couple $100. I mean, you want to talk about
$100 is not necessarily accessible to
exactly
a pretty huge range of people.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, that is one benefit though of the kind of the stagnation that took place for so long is lots of people have upgraded their computers to get better performance, but the hardware that is now orphaned is very, very usable. And as long as you don't mind dealing with the extra power consumption, it is amazingly affordable to build yourself a cheap NAS. Like, think about it. You don't even need a GPU. You don't even need anything that's in shortage because Intel's been building in onboard graphics for over 10 years now. That's fantastic. You just get an old cheap board CPU, throw some crap RAM from eBay in it, and you're off to the races. Especially if it's idling all the time, it is way less problematic in terms of power consumption compared to if you are actually doing something heavy, like you're using it for Plex transcoding or something along those lines.
Yeah, I wonder, probably not much, but I do wonder what this might do for Linux advocacy, because a lot of this old hardware, like we've been talking, is still legit, especially if what you're doing is not heavy. If
Yep.
you're not gaming, if you're not video editing, if you're not doing heavy things like that, there's a wide range of them, modeling, etc. If you're doing word processing, if you're browsing
Yep.
the web, if you're yeah, there's a lot of things you can do on your computer that isn't necessarily what a lot of this audience is doing. And once Windows 10 stops being supported, it's those types of tasks are actually very easy for the average user to pick up on non-complicated Linux distros.
This is interesting. Gabriel Garcia has a super chat in here. One benefit of the min spec being Coffee Lake / Ryzen 2 is that Win 11 apps can target extensions like AVX2 directly. Yep, that is a huge benefit. All of a sudden, having this kind of clear line in the sand for what developers can expect from a system that's running an OS makes it a lot cleaner to optimize your apps. Yep, that is.
You're probably going to see more, and we saw this kind of stuff, and it annoyed the hell out of me with companies like Elgato, despite them making tons of fantastic and amazing things. Their Stream Deck was only supported on Windows 10 for like a super long time when Windows 8 and Windows 7 were still very viable operating systems. I think you'll see significantly more of that with Windows 11 if that's the case. But yeah, I think the low end system game more than ever, even though it's already a bit of a thing, I think the low end system game might look a lot more Linuxy for the next while. Someone in Floatplane chat said Linux will run on a potato, and I'm like, yeah, that's my point, kind of.
Yep. Exactly.
There's a lot of these older systems. It could be a very fantastic answer for it. It'll be interesting to see if anything does kind of shift more than it already has in that realm.